Okay, I'm going to attempt this video again. Welcome to the channel, Great Cloudy Day. I'm Great Cloud. Oh, Sage of the Eternal Moment. Just trying to make a video that's not necessarily me reading from something other than a few notes that I took today in church service. I did go to church today. It's Sunday. It's afternoon. I don't know who will watch it or who won't, but I wanted to say I appreciate each and every one of you that do watch. I appreciate the comments, even though some comments this past week were by people that don't really probably subscribe to the channel, and they were only on like a little meme from my community post, and I talked about all that several times in videos this past week. No reason to beat a dead horse. What I'm trying to learn is just that some things, aren't necessary to give my energy to. If it's something that someone is making a good point about something, maybe I can think about it and reconsider what I'm doing or not doing. But when I feel like it's just a lashing out based on what someone just believes and we're told, a lot of times that, I choose to believe. But, of course, I appreciate people that understand I'm coming from a certain place too, like we each are on a different path. And like I said in the Jesus Calling video this morning, that when you find something that might be influencing you in a certain way, it's by all means you should maybe resist watching certain things or reading certain things. For me, my biggest struggle is alcohol. So knock on wood, get to tomorrow and it'll be 3 weeks again completely without alcohol. And I've never lied or said that I didn't smoke a little green. And so if you've watched the channel a little bit, you know that I smoke marijuana some, but I don't try to be promoting it and making it like a big deal. Yeah, on a live stream and stuff, you might see me partake, but I'm not trying to tell anybody that they should or shouldn't and all that. The same with religion. Any of the religious stuff that I might read isn't necessarily me trying to convince anybody of anything. But I did write down a little note to myself today. The past week has been challenging. A lot of unwarranted and anxious feelings were floating about through my days. Some of it had to do with craving a drink, but I have resisted. I've doubted myself and what I'm doing in life. I have had doubts this past week. Some of it is coming from, letting certain things interfere with my thinking process through the day. Even if it wasn't necessarily a negative comment, like just someone saying, "Oh, that's witchcraft" or whatever because of a meme. There was a particular day where it consumed me, and it was like a lesson I had to learn that day of let this stuff go. Like I even went as far as I took the meme down, and there was like almost 500 different likes on it, like 450 something likes. And then most of the comments were all pretty like genuine people that thought it was funny. You had like maybe three comments that, were someone trying to say that I was like evil or something. Okay, enough of that because I've already gave it enough energy. So what I'm trying to do is learn, I do have to question myself some because I've realized maybe I wasn't seeing things too clearly. One thing that someone did comment on that particular meme was, "What are you doing?" And I took them serious. Like, what are you doing? So it was the day I got paid. I was out and about all day. I answered them. I've been out and about all day. And then the next day I woke up to someone saying, the same person commenting back saying I'm a smartass because I took their question serious. They were asking me a question. It was underneath the meme that a few people were like commenting on and saying why they thought it was wrong, but they were asking me a genuine question. What are you doing? They didn't say specifically about what. I just assumed they were talking about my day, my life, and I'd spent all day out and about buying stuff, washing clothes, paying bills. So it's like I'm realizing, like I said in this morning's video, I could not ever, you know what I mean? Like, you asked me a question, I answer, and they got mad thinking I was being a smart ass or whatever, and I wasn't trying to be. oh, well, like, I don't know. When you ask a simple question, you get a simple answer, and don't be mad at someone that if they didn't understand it, I don't know what they were really alluding to. And if they were talking about the specific meme, then they didn't go into any detail other than this, what are you doing? And if that person happened to see this, I do apologize that it seemed that way, but I wasn't trying to be a butthole. Okay, I wrote this also today. Storms of life sometimes can be a way that some things can be revealed to us. Going through daily struggles can help strengthen our personal relationship to the divine. I know through my trials and errors, this past week I have had doubts about myself, and I'm even questioning. I've thought about, do I want to I've been thinking about going through my catalog and maybe erasing some of the video, like just deleting some videos from like a few years ago. Not because I was messed up or anything, because like for the most part, over the past few years that I took this channel serious, there's really been no videos where I was like drunk or anything. Like I have fell off the wagon and did a few live streams last year that you would have noticed the difference. I've just thought about going through my catalog and seeing things that maybe, I don't know. I even thought about how do I just wipe all the videos off without having to manually do it and just starting over from scratch, which would mean, I don't know if you can do that. I'd still have a subscriber count is what I'd hope, and then I just start making new videos. Now that would influence the watch hours and all that, but I'm not here trying to, wherever this goes is cool, but I'm not, I've never intended, that's not my main purpose of doing a YouTube channel. It's not because I want to be some huge known person and make a lot of money at it. I just want to share my life, and that's what I'm doing. Okay, let's try to get this video to keep it condensed, and I hope that you're still watching. I wrote down this. All these things that I'm reading to you right now out of my notebook, they were influenced because I was in service today, and the pastor in Sunday school, a lot of what was being talked about related to what's been going on for me this past week. Man tries to confine God through concepts, and the divine has no boundaries. Like a lot of people have different concepts, and then most of the time when people are communicating about God, the Spirit, and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people are just talking about their own concept, not necessarily what really is. I like to really get philosophical sometimes, and that's just me. That's why I'm enjoying making this video, because I said I want to get back to doing some videos where I'm just kind of like winging it, and I don't have a specific thing I'm reading from. I'm sharing with you kind of my take on today and this past week. And I'm hoping that I can get over this doubting that I'm having about myself. Also, another good thing that the pastor shared, if not thinking right, you can't talk right. So I feel that maybe this past week, maybe my thoughts weren't always in the right place. I can't admit that. And there was something else that the pastor said when he was talking about that, like, the service also talked about, if you'll notice, the past couple of days I've talked about looking within and how we look within, but he was talking about there's 3 ways we can look. We look within to try to, if we want change, we have to look within. Then he was talking about looking outside of ourselves, and sometimes when we're looking out, we might be looking outward to learn things and gain knowledge. But what we're looking at outside of ourselves can discourage us sometimes, like the way the world is right now. But he was also talking about looking above, like looking to our Creator. But by doing that, we can also, like when we look above, we also are practicing looking within. And I really liked, that just seemed to coordinate with what I was talking about yesterday, a little bit today, and, and it's true. If I'm not thinking right, I'm not going to be communicating right. So, and I don't always know why I have some of the nervous energy that I've been having. Like I said, I'm attributing some of it this past week, at least, to probably some of the cravings I had, and had to try to banish and get through the day without giving in to going and getting a drink. And the world is always trying to change my view. And I feel like that was part of what was going on. And so sometimes I just got to remember, this past week was a lesson. Don't always give credence to anything. Like if it's something that's going to, if I look into something, especially a comment, and I think it's going to influence my day where I just can't stop obsessing on it, I've got to learn dismiss it, push it to the side. Don't worry about it. Everybody has their own opinions. And then I wrote down here also, we're getting close to me ending this video, but I wrote down, let the Spirit's will be my will. I want to have better thoughts. I have had confusion this last week, and I admit that. I have been confused a little bit. I think something's been toying with me. It's something inside of me. It's that other side of me. Some people might say it's the devil. You know, like the devil's never twisted my arm and made me do anything. Doesn't mean that I haven't been tempted. But a lot of times what I'm dealing with is my own self tempting myself, trying to make me think, trying to make me think that it's logical to say, well, man, you can go do that and it's going to be just fine, even though you know a million times you've done it before and it never turned out right. Well, that's just me trying to convince myself of something that I know is not wise. And I'm just glad that I did go to the service today, and I've said sometimes I can't always share everything that I want to share to certain people. Like I know that sometimes some things that I might talk about wouldn't be well received in a church setting. But that's fine. That's why I'm here on YouTube. Also, some conversations we have can bring us down, you know, like me paying attention to comments that might be a little bit negative or something. You know, it's like I said, everybody's entitled to an opinion. And from now, you know, unless it's like a really rude comment, I won't remove them anymore. And then, like, if it needs to be addressed, I'll address it. But I don't think there's necessary for me to address every, like, comment that might be, like, dissenting or whatever. You know, I don't know. And then, like, yeah, like I just wrote down here that I need to learn to ignore the ones that are trying to judge me. I said this morning, I could completely stop talking about God altogether. I could stop sharing any of the Jesus books or whatever. I have a new book, be here probably by the end of the week, that will be in that series that I want to start. But I could give up all doing any content on that kind of stuff, and I'm still going to have people that are not happy with whatever I'm doing. You know, so I'm just going to keep it real, and I'm going to share what I feel like is helping me or has helped me, and I'm going to just talk my mind about, I'm going to be open about how I am and what I do and how I think. And I think, you know, as long as people, if we can be respectful among each other, you know, that's all I ask. And then the last thing I want to say before I end this is that I feel like I have been blocking some of my spiritual help. Like some of the spiritual help that the Spirit has offered me, I think maybe this past week I blocked it a little bit. I was trying to think, you know, like nobody should tell me how to live. Well, no, that's not the case. Sometimes people have good intentions, even if they're not necessarily understanding of how my relationship is with the Creator. And I keep saying that. I said this morning, we all should seek out our own personal relationship. And like some things that you may be shown, I might not be shown. Based on your personal life and your experience, trust me, the Spirit will meet you where you're at. It does me every day. And then, you know, there was one thing towards the end of the service, and they asked people to come and pray up front and everything. But one of the things he reached out and was saying was, ask God, ask the Big Kahuna, ask the Holy Spirit, ask the Christ to help you build back your altar. And that's also from looking within. You know, it's like there's an altar within us. And I think maybe I was being stubborn this past week and not thinking, you know, just taking whatever someone said as, okay, that's cool, I know different, and not addressing it. Hopefully I can continue to do it that way from now on. Like, read it and let it go. Instead of, I don't need to address every single thing, especially when it's in that frame of mind. So, I appreciate you watching. I hope you have watched to the end. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. And this was just kind of a heart-to-heart. And hopefully I can get some more of these type of videos out this coming up week. You know, where I'll just touch base on some stuff. And I may do something coming up soon for my second channel as a Craig Cloud's Thought video, like 10 or 15 minutes. Till next time, though, Mr. Craig Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.